Hey, what is up, you guys? So today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I honestly want to talk about racism and the YouTube community and how much it's really starting to surface how people really truly feel, especially with this newest case with Laura Lee. And you know, you saw Jeffree Star had a little bit of a scandal with it. James Charles has had a little bit of a scandal with it. Some have more magnitude than others, in my opinion. And, you know, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous how much of this is surfacing and how some people are even saying that it's okay and that, you know, it was in their past. This was 6 years ago. This was that. It is never acceptable. There's never a jump in time that makes your past of racism acceptable at all. Racist comments, racist slurs, racist tweets, racist likes. It is never an acceptable thing to do that. You know, it's just, there's not a time period that washes that away. So for those who I see commenting on, for example, Laura Lee's video, oh, that was in our past, or Jeffree Star's video, oh, that was in his past, it doesn't matter if it was in their past. They are still the person who made that comment. They are still the same human. Maybe they've grown mentally, maybe they've experienced more. That doesn't matter. You still said it, and there still needs to be an apology, a genuine apology. Let's start there, because it's ridiculous. You know, I hate to be that stereotypical white boy who's like, all my friends, I don't have white friends, you know, I date a black guy, whatever. But honestly, I hate to be that, but I have never had a partner in my life who has been white. I have always dated, the only person I've dated is a person of color, and you know, you can see how they're affected by things. You know, you can see how it affects your relationship. You can see there is still issues. Racism is still a thing, and people seem to, like, a lot of people want to wash it away and want to sweep it under a rug, and it's not something to be swept under the rug. You know, even me and my partner, we get stares all the time. Number one, we're gay, obviously, so that's a big thing, but you know, it's just, there's also some things that, you know, with like issues with family and things not being understood, and on both sides, there is, of course, going to be tension, you know, from both sides, because that's a whole nother story. But it's unfortunate because I do see how it affects, you know, other people who are of color and who, you know, maybe it's a job, maybe it's, you know, just walking around, maybe it's whatever. I mean, I went and I marched with Black Lives Matter, and I live in a town where it's very half conservative, very half kind of like a liberal almost, but you have these two extremes and they live right next to each other pretty much. So, but it's still mainly conservative, honestly. And, you know, when I was down there, you could see these, you know, we were marching with Black Lives Matter, and there were people who were making slurs, who were making comments, who were saying such negative things, and there weren't really any negative comments that we were making. So you can just see that there's such a pushback, and there's still so much racism going on, and I'm kind of tired of seeing people just sweep it under the rug and give half-ass apologies and think that they can move past it. You don't get to move past it and get a free pass. You know, at least, you know, with Jeffree Star, I was talking about this with some friends, you know, at least he is trying to come back from it in a way that helps people of color. He said he's not going to make a foundation until he can have a shade range for every single person. And, you know, he has shouted out black businesses, and he calls out companies who have shade ranges that are complete and cater only to Caucasian people. So at least Jeffree Star has kind of made leaps and bounds to help and try to recover from his, you know, horrible speaking and what, I can't even talk. But, you know, just the horrible things he said. And, you know, again, I think Jeffree Star also was a big shock factor kind of person. You could see that in who he was. A lot of my video is inspired by Trisha Paytas. That's who kind of flamed me up and wanted me to made me want to make this video. And then also, I was watching Here for the Tea or something like that, and it was just a trickle-down effect, and it's just crazy how this is kind of, it's blowing up to be big, but I'm scared that it's also going to be something that quickly kind of shrinks back down. And that's how it always is. And everything always is that way. But It's not okay. It's not something that you can just say, oh, you apologize, it's okay, especially when it was a half-assed apology that you have 500,000 jump cuts in there. And by the way, guys, I'm not really gonna edit this video. I thought about it, and I wanna just put this up raw to show you exactly what a video that is uncut looks like. Something that's just straight out of my head. If I make a mistake, I can't go back on it. Or if I wanna, I don't know, maybe go back to fake crying because I can't force myself to fake cry anymore, so I have to cut it, you know, whatever. That is what that probably was. Why in the world do you need so many jump cuts between each thing? And how often, when something bad happens to you, do you sit there and cry for every single day after the event? Most people cry during when it's happening to them, when they're realizing what they're losing, the next day when they've realized what they've lost, and then, you know, typically on, you know, a few days later, you realize what's happened. And if you're gonna make an apology video, sit down and actually speak about what you did. And if you genuinely feel bad, make it about what you did instead of about, oh, it's an attack on my family, it's an attack on this, I'm this person, take me for the woman I am today. These are all things that you're making it about you instead of the people that you affected and hurt. And I just think it's crazy. I think it's ridiculous. And it's not acceptable. And it's not acceptable for people to just move past things. Like, for example, with Jeffree Star, how I said he's making all those things. He's continuing to apologize. It's not a, I'm sorry, forgive me. Okay, you forgave me. Good, we're done. There's a continuation of him fixing what he said. And for Laura, I think it's honestly probably too late. You didn't put up a video, you uploaded the next day like it was normal, which granted, could it have been an automatic upload? Fine. Still, doesn't matter. That's where you should have been sitting in front of your camera the moment you got called out. It's not that difficult. It's not, if you're gonna be so PR, it's pretty simple. Obviously get in front of the camera if you're truly sorry and apologize. If you're so astonished and shook by the fact that you made those comments, you would get in front of a camera while the emotion is there and you would say what you're gonna say. Isn't that what YouTube is all about? You know, that high emotion level and getting it out? But no. And you know, you also have the controversy with Manny MUA that just happened. That I think was kind of just with the fan or whatever, you know. I would have had the same reaction, honestly, if I'm going to go to give someone a hug and they act like they're coming to hug me and then they walk past someone, I'm going to be like, I'm going to make the same face. It is what it is. For that one, I'm sorry. I don't think that that's a big deal. I guess publicly apologizing was the right thing to do. I don't know, but can you guys imagine that? Can you imagine? I don't know. But this video isn't really about that. It's more about the racism and the fact that it's ridiculous. It is 2018 and it's just not acceptable. It's never been acceptable. You can't just glaze over something and not give a genuine apology. And for those people who are telling people to get over it, that it happened years ago and that they're not the same person, you don't get to decide that. That's not your decision to make. Whether you are a person of color telling another person of color that, whether you're a white person telling the person that, it doesn't matter who you are. You do not get to tell somebody else how to feel when something like this happens. You get to feel how you feel, and you get to accept how others feel. You don't get to tell somebody else how to feel. So I just wanted to clarify that. I just wanted to talk about it. I've been a little bit like emotional about it because I'm just tired of seeing people kind of get away with things, and I'm tired of seeing it still happening so frequently, and the fact that people are still quick to say get over it. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable at all. So thank you guys so much for watching. This isn't going to be like any other video that you see on my channel. So if you guys want to subscribe, feel free. That's pretty much my stance on this topic. I don't like to upload things that are very controversial very often because I want this to be kind of a fun space. But every now and then you might see something like this, because it really just irks my nerves, and it's so frustrating to know that people are still brushing it under the rug and quick to tell people to get over it. But luckily this time I think it has had a big impact just because of the way that things went down. I feel like the Jeffree Star drama went away fairly quickly. I don't know why, but I think that things do just go away quickly nowadays. I don't get it. I don't get how things can be forgiven so very quickly. But it is what it is, I guess. Hopefully people will, you know, stick to their guns and demand more. But, alright guys, so like I said, if you want to subscribe, feel free to click that button. The bell notification if you want to get my notifications. And if you agree with this video, feel free to share it as well. Or not, I don't know. But I will see you guys in the next video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye guys.